Greetings, everyone. This is Joanna from Heavenly Radiance. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. And I was inspired to get up and do some sharing of who we truly are as infinite beings of light and love and potentiality within a new realm of energy, a new realm of consciousness that we can co-create within, and allowing all of our dreams, all of our divine creative wishes for all that we are to come to new life in every moment, to live from our hearts through soulful and interaction and engagement. And we hope that you enjoy our conversation today and our entanglement and our sacred communion. They're always very sacred to me. And allowing the beautiful crystals and the candle. And we've set the space with our sacred teams, knowing that you'll get in the information what you need when you need it. Knowing that if you come back and listen to it again, because these are Christic vibrations that we offer, there are vibrational stories within these offerings at a multidimensional level, as well as timeless, which means that you'll receive the messages innately when you're meant to. And again, why when you come and listen to it again, you will always hear a different and feel a different and sense a different story, oftentimes downloaded and deposited into your field, so that you may receive the remembrances and the encodings and the massaging of your multidimensional systems in new and heightened ways. So we thank you for exploring with us. And this morning we wanted to do a beautiful spread with our Woodward Forest deck. One of my favorite decks that I've been working with to help ignite and activate my Gaia Wisdom and Gaia Consciousness. I've done many sacred travels over the years, working with the land, reconnecting and entangling and reawakening my shamanic Gaia Wisdom. And oracles and tarot is a great way to begin activating your gifts and your skills, the memories held within the DNA, within your fields, to come forward and begin to play in new ways and heightened ways, so that we truly live in sacred honor of who we are with our planet, in sacred honor of who we are with Source Creator in all things. The Source Creator is in all things. It allows us an infinite opportunity to explore our oneness, because we are also held within all things. If we are part of Source, then we are part of the all that is. Holographic images of Source and Spirit and Light. So we're going to pull two from this deck. Oh, wow, how beautiful. Oh my gosh. Wow, how divinely appropriate. I just love this deck. I really, really do. It's one of my favorite cards that's on the bottom. And that's the Seer. And I've often been shown myself for me to remember my visionary skills, coming forward from many ancient timelines, sowing what I can see vibrationally, so that I can create with the Creator and the many consciousness here upon Earth, and the soul tribe that gather, obviously, those that have been listening to our radio shows for many, many years. Every time that we get together and we create these sacred communions, we're co-creating together. So oftentimes the things that I see are not my visions, but all of our visions, so that I can come and interpret the stories vibrationally. This is one of my favorite cards. Jesus is here. So thank you, Spirit. And this is the Rebecca Campbell Work Your Light Oracle deck. This one came falling out. I think we've had that one before. I'll pick two from there. Wow. These cards are just profound today. There's very special energy today. Dear lighted ones, thank you for tuning in and joining us. And these are my very special animal, spirit animal decks. And this is by Jody. Just look at the imagery on that. And we've often talked about the insects, and all animals have a consciousness group that helps support their evolution on our planet as well. The insectoids, various insect beings, Gaia Consciousness, the Elohim, the creator gods. And we'll pick two. Wow. You can't make this stuff up, people. Oh my goodness. Cannot make this stuff up. God is with us. God is with us. And we say God in the most expansive, all that is experience. All those that know my offerings, I say it again and again in case there's new people listening. I like to take our offerings outside of any conformity, anything that's been written, because we're here to really stretch and go beyond the boundaries of anything that we've ever known. And we truly must create things from a vibrational, soulful, creative space first. And then allow all of that we've known, whether it's textbooks or learnings or however we've learned it, and put it together, and then bring it into the fold of the new. That's how we're truly honoring the spirit of now, the presence of now, because there's so much intelligence in the now moment when we open ourselves to and trust this. So I'm gonna have some coffee. Sorry. I got up really early this morning wanting to share with you. And this is the Ace of Arrows, the breath of life. How beautiful. I've often written about the breath of life on many of my blog posts, so please feel free to go and see our blog. It's the Crystalline Children's blog. And I've written about the elixir of life from many of the downloads and the memories and visions that I've had about the consciousness and how consciousness is activated through our breath. The in-breath is our intention on how we choose to walk forward. And we see the many elements of this story card here, with the arrow being many symbolisms of thought and word, and the vibrations of air through that all that we are, through our intentions of breath, through our intentions of air, from the inspiration from the heavens to ground and create something upon the earth. And these frequencies are alchemically. They begin as the inspirations of spirit working within us. Through our own unique creative exploration of who we are as a soul and spirit, we then begin the alchemic creation, which is what this little point of interaction here to me is alchemically for moving together various aspects of spirit through the human form, that we begin to see the alchemic shifts and changes through which the story is embedded and imprinted within the earth, taking up many vibrational attributes, which is what we are. We're never only one thing. We are one thing within the all. However, there's much that creates and makes us in any one moment. We are all shifting, creating, co-creating through all that we are as mental, physical, emotional, multidimensional beings that are coming to life in every new moment, ready to imprint within a planetary vibration that's also changing and shifting as we are. So to bring these inspirations down to earth and co-create in a brand new way, which is what my expressions of excitement are, to bring these higher concepts of potential perspectives and musings so that we anchor in a higher vibration for the crystalline children many generations from hereafter, understanding that in all moments we're spirit co-creating with all elements. And the Ace of Arrows is creating from the inspirations from our soul truth, who we are at a soul level, that we're not influenced by any others, but we know within ourselves, through going within, knowing that each and every one of us, through the innate and unique creative offering that we each are, the uniqueness of our DNA, the uniqueness of our unique offering as a human, and to come forward and do so in a way that is the piece of the puzzle that's required. This is one perspective of one person's creative potential. How I interpret the card and energies within the card are uniquely different and special. And so each and every one of us on the planet also have a unique design, a unique drawing, a unique puzzle piece that they'll come to also imprint their place of inspiration and creativity, exploration, or expression within the whole experience of creation. So to know that we're innately required in every way to be the unique self that we are, because it is a divine design. And for us to trust that, and for us to honor it, and for us to play and explore within those divine, infinite gifts that we're all given. And that's beautiful. You can't make this up, really. The next card is getting comfy. The next card is the wheel. And the wheel is the divine inspiration for great change. And this wheel is, I really enjoy beautiful artists and visionaries that come forward and create oracle cards and decks and tarot, because they create new spins from their interpretation, from their inspirations. And I really like this, how we've got the moon looks like a new moon, and the sun is over here. So we've got both within the picture. And this is a dream catcher made from someone's shirt. And the wheel, the spokes, meaning that always within the center we are our highest vibration with Source Creator. From whence we came, we will return. And it is the divine feminine, the divine male at its most perfect, untainted, if you will. And we say untainted as far as the conformities and the limitations and separations that we've come to explore and transcend. And it's meant in the most honorable of ways, as those of you that know our offerings. And then we have the little bird feathers that are here to also play and interact with the consciousness of wind and air. So all of these elements are allowing us to understand that there's a divine experience within new creations, new beginnings, within the cycles of time and change, within the cycles of growth and experience, within the cycles of allowing ourselves to tread new paths, to go with the flow and ride the waves of change, to allow it within all that we are, to know that there's divinely designed experiences within all of these threads, are like the stories told within the lifetimes that this experience, this t-shirt represents the person that the change is coming for. However, this one person knows that it's with and affected by the all. And each one of these threads represents the story that this one person has told within this one segment of cycle. And all of these elements tell a story about this person's journeys and trials. And this is why the t-shirt is ripped and worn and torn, because oftentimes, we're moving through various challenges and we're weathered at times. But to know that this source creator, the environment, the beauty and the sustenance of nature, the cycles of the new birth and the life, the Father, Mother in its infinite glory, always allowing us to see and create these new cycles. And how may we, the message that's coming through right now, how may we in all that we are stand within our own sacred sanctuary and truly create the altar, which is what this represents to me. It's the altar of our journeys. Truly create sacredness around it, through which we are one with the wind. We are one with the cycles of change, and we allow them to occur. And we release resistance, knowing that these cycles will represent new stories. They will represent new challenges. They will represent new triumphs. They will represent new levels of mastery to gain through all that we are as a multidimensional being. And they're showing me that all of these experiences that we move through are also through the phases and the cycles and the growth that Gaia represents and entangles with us and wishes to be a part of the song. She wishes to add and contribute, to be a much more greater player in our love, in our joy of exploration, to be not only the landscape that we play upon, that we've often known, those that have been awakened and those that are very connected to Gaia, but for her to come forward and truly offer herself as a spirit of co-creation with us, to be more than just the landscape, but to be a co-creative mother and partner and friend and spirit, which is beautiful. Thank you, Gaia. And you see the just the mirrored shadows. There's more going on than we know. And how can we still ourselves and create these sacred altars, create this sacred honor of the trails and the trials and the journeys that we each carry and come with, that we each are willing to explore in our own unique way, that we will always have phases and cycles to move ourselves through into new beginnings, to trust ourselves and live in every moment with Source, center of our being, and proudly walk forward in who we are. That's beautiful. So great change is coming with their inspirations and new stories to begin anew. Powerful cards. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. I'm drinking my coffee. It's one of my favorite times of day, is early in the morning before the world wakes up, getting coffee and just sitting with the world and contemplating and reflecting. And this is the Akash. Your guidance is divinely guided. And we've talked about this before. So this week, the vibrations, if you've gone back to listen to our videos this week is very pivotal for a new journey's beginning. Obviously, the energies are so profoundly threaded in new journeys to step upon new levels of mastery. And the first thing that's coming to me now are these various levels. Within this one image, you've got the various levels of the clouds, you've got the levels of the stairs, you've got the levels of the structure itself. And she's walking in from all of these levels that she's traversed to move through this new beginning, this new portal of light. There's also windows on either side, there's doors on either side. So not only has she been offered many paths, but she's walking steadfast to that altar that she knows that she's being drawn to, knowing that there is no wrong path, that we're always learning and growing in various ways for the soul to grow, for the soul to transcend, for the soul to heal. But that they're always done in phases and cycles and elements so that we can master certain vibrations of self-honor, of self-empowerment, to trust ourselves, to know that we are the masters of our bodies, mind, body, spirit, and soul. Through the heart, that we are this altar of transmutation. This, to me, represents the altar of the heart and the soul through which we walk through the center and always led to our highest destiny, our highest will. Learning new levels of mastery, new levels of potentiality and creative expression. Coming with it also the gifts that we allow ourselves to be the statues of time, if you will, for that phase of growth, meaning that every phase offers ourselves new gifts of expression. And through that gift of expression, we will create, through which time will be tested, and the test of time will stand. Whether it's arts of work, whether it's books, whether it's creative writing or paintings or songs, that we are the creative expression of Source, always walking the eternal journey, the eternal tunnel, if you will, the eternal gateway of exploration. There will always, 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 always be cycles of exploration and experience through which we garner greater perspectives. We can look through an infinite number of windows to see into the soul's potential. We come with many gifts and many soul lifetimes that are honored to be lived through us in any moment that we call and invite it. Just as we have the expression of Gaia exploration, as we invite her in, as we invite Source in, as we invite love in, so too our path has changed. It truly does alter all things, and that is the alchemic process of enlightenment and awakening. It's beautiful. And so the Akash is the representation of, it's an energetic vibration of our soul's creative offering for this now moment. The Akash is not only a library, it's a vibrational portal through which we garner and we gather all that we are to bring forward into new representations of creative play and exploration and expression, of course. And how appropriate and pivotal. Look at this. I mean, that's just so profound. This is the key of transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level, and there's deep healing as we allow ourselves to open, explore all that we are as Source Creator. And we've often seen in many of our many ancient paintings and assimilations for the crown being the enlightenment portal through which divine wisdom is brought down. And she's alchemically showing that she's mastered certain skills and gifts through water, air, fire, and earth. And she has the staff of authority. She has the staff of her understanding and her garnering of those wisdoms and informations for the greatest good, for the benevolency. And she sits within a background of the dry desert, meaning that obviously the desert is one of the most harshest conditions that one can survive within. And she's mastered it with all of her glory, allowing the divine wisdom to come down and be a part of her every moment experience. And the wisdom of the multidimensional animals that come with her and guard her and walk with her on her path. This is the goddess representation, the divine feminine representation of how we have all that we are as alchemic beings to shift and change and move through any array that we are offered, regardless of what environments, regardless of what we come with. We have everything that we need within us to transmute and transform, and to know that we can stand in our own power and in our own light, which is the definition of sovereignty, to be fully creative and liberated within all that we are, and to explore and express and experience ourselves in this way. That is pure liberation in the Christic understanding. From what I've been given, obviously it means much more because the Christic vibration is multidimensional and infinite and eternal, but just through the human words that we have. To be fully creative, liberated. And that's how evolution continues. Evolution does not continue by controlled systems. Evolution cannot continue by controlled systems. It will become stagnant and it will descend, de-evolve, which is what we've experienced and why we are moving through a planetary ascension. And again, wow, the Ace of Bows, new beginnings of inspiration, new journeys. The Wheel of Fortune is the universal assistance, the universe showing you that it's time to move forward in a new way and that you're being assisted in every way through this. The transformation card, you can just see the story that's occurring. And the Akash means that you're divinely guided, which we've seen that one, which means that you're bringing all that you are with you. You're allowing all that you are to come forward and all of your gifts and skills to create that new, that we won't know what's on the other side of that portal, but we understand that it will always be guided in the greatest light through our heart and through our soul. And we're taking all of our Akash. Our Akash never leaves us. We create and we explore and we expand through our Akash, and our Akash through us. And so it's a beautiful tool that we've been gifted to use and explore and express with. And of course, as we move through further deepening of who we are as multidimensional beings, our understandings and our interpretations of all that we're talking about right now will obviously change. Tomorrow it will change, and that's how it's meant to be. And why years ago, I remember in school and through the various churches that I went to when I was younger, I was always questioning and challenging what I was being told, because there was something that was deep within me that I knew that there was more to what was being seen and offered. There was many conversations that I remember having with consciousness beings around me when I was younger, especially in nature, that there was very few that could put understanding, and why oftentimes we can understand how the children feel so lost, because they're highly intuitive, they're highly tuned in and tapped into to all energy, and there's very few around them. There's very few that they're seeing, on our TV and our media. There's very few that they're being shown how elegant and how sacred and how beautiful their life and their earthly experience can be. And it's our role right now to expand and express and explore a new vibration to show them there's great beauty in our world. What are they being shown about our world? What are they being shown as the potential of our world? What are each of us being shown as our potential of our world? If you look at the general offerings, what is being offered? And this is why each and every one of us are unique expressions of the puzzle to come forward and to continue to stretch the boundaries, to continue to bring our own creative spin, regardless of how out there or regardless of how different it may appear, because your voice might be that one activation vibrationally that's needed by 10 or 12 crystalline children that require your codes, that require your vibration into the consciousness of the collective. There's downloads of information within the collective that we each pick up on, those of us that are empaths and intuitives. And those crystalline children, everybody has this ability, but most are turned off. When you're walking through anywhere, there are thought forms, there are imprints of energy, and we can feel it and sense it and know it in every way. We're here to transform and transmute that, the unseen. There is great majesty in the unseen, and we're here to bring it to life for whole new generations and generations from now. And we truly must stretch the boundaries and the borders of everything that we've ever done, for we've de-evolved for so very long. And it's only within the last 20 to 30 years that we've really seen and expansiveness of light and consciousness due to the great light programs from the heavens stepping in to truly assist humanity to be sovereign and creative and exploratory in who we are as spirit, so that we do have our planet that lasts for eons and eons, to be a part of a greater galactic and universal family, to have on and off world contact that we can even further explore. So just know that every moment that you stretch the boundaries and move beyond in every way, thought, word, sacred behavior, entangling, inviting, offering, being all that you are as a spirit, you're living your divine sovereign truth. And the role for each of us as we look back on our soul's preview when we're moving through those life shifts, those great life shifts. Has your soul been satisfied on the path that you've taken? Have you challenged yourself? Have you grown? Have you loved? Have you given? Have you offered? Have you received? Have you allowed yourself to explore and express and experience all that you can? And you're here to create those opportunities with Source that are offered to you in every single second, every breath. Thank you. And this one is the one that came out next. Can you believe it? This is one of my favorite cards, and I've done some articles about dragons this year. And also when I was touring in Japan, doing webinars and teaching there. They're very beautiful creatures of the dragons that are known sacredly and mythically. And the dragons are similar to the unicorn consciousness, through which, as our consciousness rises and as our sacredness of the land and air, they are air elements. The dragon is an air element, but they also are multidimensional beings of water and land. So as the reptilians are as well. And to create greater awareness and greater understanding and greater honor for all that we are within our genetics. We carry all genetics within us. We're universe omnipresent beings. But to understand that these creatures and these beings are very real, they carry consciousness stories for our evolution, for the evolution of all that is. And that's why this comes in a supernatural experience. And I had many beautiful experiences when I was in Japan with the dragon experiences that I was a part of and was shown to me. You are the ancient wise sage. You can shapeshift at will. Mastery is your destiny. Rise with dignity. And again, this is just so profound with new phases. And again, the new moon. And there's no accident on why the moon phases and cycles are a part of our evolutionary envelope, to pay greater attention to the cycles that we exist within, to pay greater attention to our multidimensional bodies within these cycles, to honor it, to listen, to value. And the moon, I'm going to add this in because it's coming up for me in particular. As all things in creation are purposeful, all things. There's nothing in your reality that does not tell a vibrational story. The more awake and aware and attuned you are, you can pick up on these tiny little synchronicities that tell a vibrational story for you. And this is where true wisdom comes from. True wisdom comes from your innate ability to know that you are entangled and threaded with all things, all moments, every aspect of life. That you have at any moment to open up the portal of who you are and pull and draw the story from that specific symbol in any moment. And it brings you to greater life. Because every single moment you create what you're seeing and perceiving. As you perceive it and allow it to live through you, you change it, you alter all of creation. So that you become this supernatural shapeshifter to move within and about the stories of Source Creator. The moon offers us transformational and transmutational potentials. The sun is the life giver, is the pulsation of the Father, Mother harmonized as one. And why, as we each grow within our enlightenment and ascension offering, that we become ever harmonized as the greatest power of all that is within our spirit energies of male and female embodiment, the virtues that come with each, the balancing of compassion and power and will and intelligence. Both are required, both are needed to maintain the ever-moving, shape-shifting path of awakening and expansiveness throughout the universe, omnipresent. However, the moon allows us to move through the portal of perspective Perspectives are also the beliefs that we come with, the hidden agendas that our souls have to pull us and draw us through. This is what the dragon tell. We are pulling ourselves through portals of limitation, lack and belief, and self-doubt for the exploration of who we are. We set up these in our soul contracts and our soul blueprint, and our DNA is designed, our soul blueprint is designed with other higher dimensional beings and our soul group and our oversoul of oversoul, so that each of us come through with a plan that we're here to transcend through the phases of illusion, through the phases of beliefs and limitation, through the phases of fear, through the phases of and, the illusion that we paint for ourselves in certain realities. Every dimension has its own game. Our dimension is the game of duality, and through that game of duality, we allow ourselves to explore separation between male and female, separation between have and have not, separation between anything in our reality. So much subjugation at every level. But we're here to transcend it and bring ourselves through these new portals of awakening. This is what the new moon represents, new beginnings, to say, I'm done with that lesson now. I'm going to pull myself into somewhere new. I'm going to shapeshift into something new, and that no longer serves me. I'm calling judgment on this because that lesson has served me, and I want to move through a new portal of expansiveness, and we get to choose. We get to choose. That's why there's symbolisms in all things, in all ways, for us to awaken to in any one moment, to know that you are the shapeshifter of your own life. You are the sacred sage. You are the master here to remember who you are, to come forward and assist life and evolve in brand new ways that have never been seen or felt and heard before. And that's utterly profound. So thank you. And the last one, again, how profound. Mastery. Why we do what we do, so that we garner and we gain, not for superficial, egoic, mantle showing experiences, to show what's on your mantle. And there's no judgment on that, but to do so with great sacred honor and sacred pride, which is what the eagle represents in its most native and authentic forms, is the sacred power of all life moving within one another. It's not one over another. It's not one aspect of creation that means more is more than another. This eagle is the power of mastery moving within the oneness of all that's offered. That's mastery. Mastery cannot be attained if it's done from a perspective of better and less than, greater or not than. It just can't. You gain mastery through those experiences and transcending them, to knowing that you're one with all things, that there is oneness in all ways, that each has its role to play, that each is equal. And we notice that the eagle has the same amount of letters as equal. It understands it, and that's why it has always garnered that great power. That's why it's always made up of the various colors. It requires that equality, that balance, to have the mastery to new heights, so that you're, again, that new level, attaining new levels, reaching and stretching and soaring beyond. How are you able to spread your wings today, dear lighted ones? How are you able to see and perceive things as you perceive it, so it changes? You become a part of something new by inviting it in. Invite the sacredness to live through you. Invite the supernatural to live through you. Invite the wheel of change to live through you. Invite your Akash to live through you. Invite your mastery to live through you. The new inspiration of new days dawning. You are a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of the past and soar. Allow yourself to forgive. Allow yourself to acknowledge that you're more than you thought you were a moment ago. You are guided by the winds of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. See, we each have a gift to come and offer the world that inspires greater evolution and greater change, so that we all consciousness, the birds, the bees, all water is affected by you coming forward and being all that you are as the sacred essence of life. So profound. Oh my gosh. I can't make these stories up. It's so divinely inspired. It's just so much divine energy. And we thank you and we honor you in all ways, dear lighted ones, for joining us. May you go forward and know if this isn't enough vibrational honor for you to step forward in a new way today. I don't know what is. So many offerings of divine synchronicity that you are on a new path, that you are spreading your wings and ready to soar, that you are ready to offer yourself in a brand new way that's purely aligned with who you are as source, as spirit, as pure love, divine male and female in its balanced forms, so that we ever change our world, that we ever change the landscape of the all through love and light, compassion and harmony and peace for all. We love you and we care about you, and we know that you are the divine blessing of the holy creators, ready to spread your wings, create something new. Namaste.